In the last session, no, I have developed this leave application form. Like if employee submits some leave application, manager has to review it. Like if for the initial requirement, so what is our requirement is like if manager like clicks on approve, it should go to end. If manager clicks on reject, it should go again back to the employee. It should again go back to the employee. Okay. So so that the employee can again resubmit the application. So see here. So I'm just trying to run this. In the last session, we had data mapping. You have completed data mapping and all. So the only pending item is I didn't run the application in the last session. Now we can run it. Okay, I'm just running. Switching to the inspector mode. So for an employee, a task is created. For an employee, a task is created. Who are okay. So it is assigned to who is the owner of this task? Employee group. Employee group is the owner of the task. So who are the users present inside this employee group? The task will appear on their inbox. Okay. First of all, once after execution here, later I will show you in how this is appearing in process portal as well. Okay, I'm just clicking on run button. See, I can see only two users. One is Vamsi and another one is Vivek. I just selected the Vivek. I just clicked on OK. Yeah, it will try to open me that UI. See, now when I run, okay, Vivek is logged in. Now Vivek is filling up his credentials. Vivek, some designation, some senior software engineer, department, some ID. And Vivek clicked on submit. Okay. When Vivek clicked on submit, where was the token? Refresh it. When Vivek clicked on submit, the token went to manager. Now the token visit manager. Manager in the sense now manager can see the task in his inbox. Now the manager can see the task in his inbox. Okay. So who are the managers? One is like Devi and other one is like Sudeep. These two guys are the managers. When Devi clicked on OK, Devi can see like Vivek, okay, senior software engineer, IT. Okay, as of now, execute the negative scenario. Devi, for example, he clicked on reject. He's not going to approve the leave, or due to some reason, she clicked on reject. So where should again task will should go back? Task should again go back to the employee. Yes, task went back to the employee. Okay. Now again employee working on it. Again Vivek try to resubmit the leave. Calculate department some IT. Okay. Now the token visit manager. Actually in my machine I need to reinstall it actually. See here in my machine the token is not appearing. There will be some token will appear here whenever it comes here. Okay, there will be some token will appear here in your machine. Okay, token will come to manager. Now again manager is trying to see this again Devi picked up the task. Devi can see Vivek tech lead IT. Okay, Devi just clicked on approve. uh, See here this Vivek tech lead and department all are If Devi want to change something, she can change or she can't change. She can change. Okay. When Devi clicked on approve, this time see what happened. My instance got completed, my task got closed. But this should not happen. Like what should not happen? Like manager has to see it in read-only mode. Whatever the details that like employee has entered, okay, whatever the details that employee has entered, those details the manager should not see. Why there are two coaches here? One coach we can remove it. Okay, see here. Uh, this is we done. Like you can select the name. You can select the name, and here you can see the what is the text view. Okay, here you can make it as a output text instead of input text. You can make it as a output text. Why you are making this as a output text? Why? Because he belongs to some employee. Like it is a text field. Fine, it is a text field, but it is showing in just input others editable mode. But you don't want it in editable mode. You want it in read-only mode. That means I am just changing this to some output text. Some output text. So I have to change the view. I'm just changing this to some output text. Now let's see like how this will get appearing. Again, come back to our leave application. I'm just running this. See, this time I can see something like token has been appeared here. I can see the token. Okay, and the task is with whom? The task is with. Okay, so what you are observing from here, for each and every BPD, one instance is getting generated. Upon one instances, how many activities are there? Those many tasks will be generated depending upon your business scenario. Depending upon your business scenario, those many tasks are getting generated. Okay, initially one task is created. Okay, so the task with whom? Employee inbox. Fine. Okay, employee inbox. Let's execute from here. Vivek, some lead department, some BPM. When Vivek clicks on submit, the token should go to manager. Now the token is at manager. There is no reason for the token like what number it will take. It will take some random, pick up the number. Remember, token indicates that like where the actual task is. Okay, now it is with manager. So when manager Devi picked up the task, it is assigned to directly manager. So Devi can see like something like name as Vivek, some designation as tech lead, some department as BPM. She can't do anything here. Okay, when she approves, this got completed. Okay, we can do like some of the like enhancements here. So, okay, this is the employee.
Jagdish,
Yes.
hello. Before we go there, just I have one doubt here.
Okay.
In Manager UI, in
Okay.
Manager UI, if you just can you open Manager UI? Here actually, if you go to coaches there is some value associated binded with approve and reject, right? I mean that is not required. If you go there, approve and reject, I think it's binding, is it? Do we need to bind some value over there or not required? Because we are not doing anything with that. Right?
For approve and reject. See here. Oh, okay. So whenever we click on approve, Like whenever, like see here, whenever I taken this path, it is taken this path for approve. Here I have like two buttons. Assume that this is one button, this is another button, reject button. So whenever I have given this path as approve, like here I am writing some condition. Like I am assigning some, like whenever user clicks on this button, so I am assigning some value to a variable. When user clicks on this button, I am assigning some value to a variable. I am ending. So in the BPD level, I am checking the value and I am routing it.
Yes, correct. My question here is, do we need to bind the currency? If you go there for reject, I think there is no binding. For approve, there is no binding. So we are not carrying anything in that variable, right? So we are really required to bind the currency even if you don't do a binding also.
See, we are not doing any binding actually here. Like it will be auto-binded. Why? What we are doing, just we are assigning some value based on the buttons he has clicked.
What I noticed is even if you don't bind anything, the variables both input and output variables both are accessible in this script, server script. You can do implementation like you can assign it to the true or false whatever it is. So I'm just curious like we need to really bind that one. See, because for name we are binding, so it has sense like we are carrying the name data. But from approve or reject, we are not carrying anything, right? So I just wanted to know, like, really you need to bind its mandate or like you can just do everything
I
within the
hope
script
like
without
the
any.
binding. Okay, so like binding is not required for in case of like button systems. Why? Because no. So from a coach, how many buttons I have? If I have like 10 buttons in my coach, I will be having like 10 paths. I can draw here like 10 output lines. In those 10 output lines, so based upon one button, like based upon the path, I can assign some value. So in that case, like even if you bind or if you don't bind, doesn't make any sense.
Correct. That's what I was saying to say.
Okay, is it clear? See?
Yeah, that's what you're telling. It has
Maybe,
to
but
follow
how
the
it will know that it has to follow this path when we are clicking on the button?
See,
no
whenever
it's
you
approved.
this I did not give this. Whenever I have taken one path, it is taking like how many buttons are there, it is taking just path. See here. I'm just deleting this one. So here I have like two buttons, like
Okay.
approve, reject. So whenever I take some path, it is taking approve. So for example, if it takes reject, I will just connect to this. So button I am not giving. So whenever I clicks on reject, so it will come to this server script and then it will end. So in that server script, you are assigning some value to that variable.
Okay. Okay. Automatically detecting the buttons with the these arrows.
What
Yeah.
this one?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Means basically it's automatically detecting the buttons with the arrows.
Yes.
Then we can arrange them accordingly.
Yeah, you can arrange them
Yeah.
accordingly. See here, if I am trying to draw one more path here, it won't come. Why? Because
So,
in the coach, I have like only two buttons. Like first of all, you have to build your coach. Then only you can, in the diagram, you can draw something.
mm. Can you show me one more thing? Is how the data is being passed from employee to manager? That mapping part.
Okay, employee to manager. Yeah, sure. See here, like here I am having like two private variables. One is like employee, other one is like decision. So this is mapped with some employee. Okay, the variable employee. So here whatever the employee has entered, the with the same variable I have binded here in manager. I am passing them to the manager input.
Okay.
So common variable you bind it.
Okay. Okay.
So whatever you the employee information carrying by this variable, the same variable you have binded with the manager. You are passing this as input here. Okay.
Hmm. So do we need to declare them as a private variable or common variables?
Yeah. See here,
We
like
declare it under the private section.
so here in the employee, in the manager screen, I have taken some input variable, output variable. Why I have taken input variable in manager? Why? Because someone is passing me some input. Who is passing? Some employee is passing. So I am giving
Hmm.
some output. Okay. So I have to take some decision. That's why I'm taking output. Fine. If you come to your BPD, in the BPD level, can you say like, is this BPD is taking any input from other system or somewhere I'm getting the input? No, you are not getting any input from somewhere. Within your BPD, like some employee activity is there, some manager activity is there. Similarly, manager is taking some decision. Okay, like is the manager like manager decision is like receiving something from outside? No, within the BPD only he is receiving something, and within the BPD only he is we are approving or rejecting. Like if he approves, it is going to end. If he rejects, back to employee. That means your complete process is in between start and end. Nothing is receiving from the outside. You are not giving anything to like other BPD or somewhere. So in such cases, you have to declare a variables as private. Got it? So everything is in
Okay.
between start and end. You are not receiving anything from anywhere. You are not giving to anything to anywhere like to other BPD or someone. You are not calling any other BPD or you are not passing data to any other external system. So in such
The
case,
scope of this private variable is within the
within
this
the
BPD.
BPD. Yeah, right. Scope of the private variable is within the BPD.
And do we have any variables in the employee activity?
Reusing of,
Do you have any variables in the employee activity? You double click them. Employee activity.
okay, this is my employee activity. Like what is your question?
Just double click that. Variables here. Okay, so employee details.
Yeah, that this is my whatever the variable name you have kept, no problem, but the type should be same. The
And
same
this
type
type we
manager is
declare
receiving.
this
The same
type
employee.
and this type we have declared in the private variable of the BPD employee detail.
Yes.
Can you go
Initially,
to
yeah,
the yeah? Mhm.
you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, fine. Okay. This time, like what we observed is like okay, manager can see it in read-only mode. So here, can't we like make something special in the sense like if you want to make it as some mandatory field, like without this, like employee like can't submit. There are some visibility options here. If I select the name, if I select the name, I have some visibility option. Later in future, we can see all this remaining rule and script. Like here, I have something like required. I just changed the visibility option of my name field. What I did initially, it is like same as parent. I changed this to required. Fine. Initially, if I run this UI itself, in order to like check, I can see some asterisk symbol with some red. I can see in front of the name. Okay. So when this is associated in an activity, so now I am running my leave application again. Okay, actually this binding is not working. Actually, how it will show like whenever I am submitting without any value, whenever I am submitting without any value, it will throw me an error. It will throw me an error like name should not be blank. Like name should not be blank. No, it will throw like it should not be empty. Okay. So like okay, anyway, like we want to handle that. So how to handle that? So I will show you now then how to handle it. So I will do something new here. Let me add something new here. Mm, Okay, let me do some validation here. Let me do some validation here. So I'm doing some different types of validation now. So I want my user defined message. Like whenever user has didn't provided some name field, like I want to display in the output text like please enter a valid name or something. So in order to do that validation, like I'm not going with my inbuilt controls. I want to write like my own validation. I want to add my own like validation for this for the coach. Okay, what is my own? How can we create like my own validation? Like select this employee activity. Okay, there is some submit is there, no? So like here, see, like I can see like fire validation never. So if I select here to before, so what happened? You can see something called as green color tick mark comes here. Okay, initially end state is I clicked here. I changed this fire validation to before. Okay, end state came here. Now what I did is like I am just adding one server script to show the user defined message. Okay, I am taking a server script to show some user defined message. User defined message in the sense I want to show something where the user did not enter. I want to show something. Okay, okay, some validate or something. Okay, fine. Now after that again user has to stay on the same page. He should not like move to like other page like service got finished. So there is an option for us like stay on page. I'm using this stay on page. Okay. Now here I'm writing some code here. Okay. If tw dot local dot employee details dot some name equal to some null. Okay, nothing if I provided. Then what happens? Nothing if I provided. Tw dot system dot. So I have something like add coach validation error. Okay, add code to validation error. So I am using that function. First it is expecting like three arguments. Like one is like coach validation, second one is error bo path, third one is error message. So I am writing coach validation, searching for coach validation. Yeah, this is my coach validation. It is system task. So it is like system inbuilt, some functions are there. I am using those functions. Here it is searching for the bo path where this bo is present. Okay, you know already where this one present. Tw dot let me okay, where this present tw dot local dot employee details dot name. Okay, so after that put this in double quotes. Okay, last one is error message. Here you can specify whatever the message you want. Please enter your name. Please enter your name. Okay, okay. See here, when I click on submit, it I am unable to submit it. So I got an error. So if I check this, what is the error? So here I am getting, please enter your name. Some validation script I have kept. That's why it is not like unable to like submit the error. Okay. So I can give something now, some values, and like if I give some value like something as Vamsi, some tech lead, some BPM. Then like if I provide some value to the name, then only I can submit it. So in this way, like if I have written for only one field, if you want, you can write it for other fields as well. You can check the other field, like designation is present or not. You can put like this is like making you to stay on the same page. Like when you have kept the validation, you are not moving it. You are making on the same page. You are writing some validation. So before submitting only, you are validating this. Before submitting only, you are validating this. That's why you changed this fire validation to before instead of like after.
What is the show and state?
Yeah, this show and statement, see here. Here it is showing submit, no? If you remove this, it won't show. It is showing where it is going. Okay, got it?
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. See here. Now this time, okay, you have developed something, okay, it looks good, but how the end user will work on it? End user can't see only in process portal. End user want to run this application, leave application. How the end user can run? How the end user knows that you have developed something? And yeah, always the end user can't come into your designer part and he just clicks on. Why? Because your application will be deployed in the process server. Your application will be deployed in the process server or runtime box. In the runtime box, there won't be any PD. You will be having just your consoles only. There won't be any development there in the runtime boxes. So whatever the application snapshot you have developed, that is going to execute. So that end user can interact only with the process portal. They don't know anything about like the designer. So how can you expose this to the end user to start it? Okay. Here, what are the groups I have? Employee and manager. Who can start this process? Employee or manager? Obviously, employee can start the process. Why? Because they are only like submitting the leave applications. So I want to expose this complete process to a group called as employee. So how I can expose it? So I can go to the overview tab. I can go over to the overview tab. Here there is something, an option for me to like expose it to start. In this exposure to start, if I select some employee, so I am assuming like only like Vivek and Vamsi can see this whenever this got exposed. Okay, now let me log into the process portal and see. Yeah, this is my process portal. Let me log in with Vivek. Yeah, okay. Now I logged in with Vivek. Here I can see he is Vivek. Okay. Now, okay, for Vivek, in the right side, for Vivek, I can see some of the things are exposed. Okay, some of the things got exposed for Vivek. Here, what the Vivek want to apply the leave application. See here, I can see leave application. This is my process app is my new year process. Yeah, this is the thing which I got exposed. Leave application which is in process, like process app name is my new year process. So Vivek wants to apply some leave. Then what Vivek will do? He will just clicks on year process. Work started for leave application. So if Vivek goes down, Vivek can see a task has been created just now. Okay, task due date is 1 hour. That's why it is showing 7:30 a.m. My sys time is 6:30. Okay, that you already know, like why it is showing 1 hour ahead. Like here it will be. So if I select some activity, if I go to some implementation, here I can see for a particular activity that due date is due in 1 hour. Due in 1 hour. Okay, by default time it is, that's why it is showing 7:30. Okay. Now Vivek, when the task has been created, so what Vivek will do? Vivek will simply climb the task. he wants to like submit the leave application. Okay, Vivek is going to submit it. Okay, Vivek submitted, but when Vivek submitted, he can't see anything in his inbox. Why? Because with whom's inbox like the task will be like manager. Manager is Devi. So when Devi logged in, he can see the task in her box. See today's task, some leave application. Okay, so manager. So when Devi, like it will be assigned to manager group. In manager group, Devi is present, some Sudeep other user is present. So like initially you can see the task in both of their inbox as well. See here in the inspector also, if I refresh here I can see. So initially Vivek has worked on this, got completed. Now it is assigned to manager group. Like who are the eligible managers here? One is like Devi, other is like Sudeep. Okay. Let me connect this process portal. Let me open the process portal. Okay, with okay, she is Devi, no? She is Devi. Devi can see. Okay, fine. If I log out, if I logged in with Sudeep, if I go down, Sudeep also can see. Sudeep also can see. Okay. Now, for example, Sudeep climbed. Sudeep can see something. Okay, fine. Sudeep did not take any decision. Just he climbed the task. If you go and refresh here, you can see who climbed is Sudeep. Initially it is assigned to manager group. Now it is with Sudeep. Now it is with Sudeep. Sudeep did not work on this anything. Sudeep did not work on this anything. Okay. Now Sudeep has just logged out. Now Devi, we can check it in Devi's inbox. Devi can't. Why? Because this is already claimed by Sudeep. This is already claimed by Sudeep. Only Sudeep can work on the task. Only Sudeep can do. See, still is Sudeep inbox only. I can see the task. In Devi inbox, I can't see the task. Proofs. Ideally, this our in our process app, no, our instance get completed. Our tasks are will get closed. Okay. This is about like in the session 8. You know now you came to know like how to create a teams. In older name of teams is like participant groups. In when IBM BPM like Lombardi is there like 7.5.1, there we are calling as teams. In the 8 version they renamed it to like there we are calling as participant groups. In 8 version they are calling it as teams. Now you understood like simple leave application process. Actually it is nothing doing anything about leave, just we have built that process. Like I want to show you like how the data is passing from one activity to other activity, so that this will be very helpful. Like if you understand this process, for example, somebody is like placing some order, or some of the someone has to like approve it. So you have to pass that data to other activity, then only he can see and he can approve it. So by understanding this process you will understand like how the data is passing from one activity to other activity. Next, exposing a process to particular participant group to start from the process portal launch step. This you also understood. Like whenever like user logs in, like in the process portal, he can see this tab Launchpad. From here, he can like run the application. See here, keys to the manager. He can't see that leave application, which is like my new year process. He can't see this. Why he can't see this means? Why? Because this is like leave application. Don't confuse with this. This is like something different. Like for other uh, in other sessions also I will explain. No? Okay, our leave application belongs to like my new year process. He can't see this. Why? Because this is assigned only to the employee tab. This is assigned only to employee team.
There is one question here.
Yeah.
So suppose if one of the managers has rejected this one, then that will come to the employee group. At that time, anyone like Vamsi or Vivek both can just claim the task, right?
Yes. Can you come
No,
again?
it should not be like that. See,
Whenever.
let's say, let's say Vivek logged in and he just created one request and
Okay.
data got moved to the managers. So one of the managers, Devi just moved it, just she didn't approve, she rejected. Okay.
Okay.
Then it again come to the employee group. That time even Vamsi, that means assigned to the employee group, but it's not assigned to the Vivek exactly. Though
Right.
request is raised to the right.
Yeah. So like okay, this actually this should be assigned only to the Vivek. Why? Because the other person don't know. Like Vamsi should not don't know like about this task. Just for our understanding, I explained this. For that, we are having like some assignments for each and every activity. In the assignment, you can assign to some list of users. You can like assigning to these are all deprecated. You can assign it to some lane participant, or like you can assign to some team. So you can write the filtering service like you can create a service like where if someone has climbed it previously who worked on that, the same person it should be assigned. It should not be assigned to like the complete group. We can do that as well. Earlier in 7.5.1, these are like various options will be present. In 8.5, what they did is like they deprecated like many of the features. Like they have provided something called as team filter service. Here we can write like team filtering service, whatever the filter you want. Like you can select like if employee selected equal to some user. Okay, so it should be again assigned back to that particular user only. Okay, in earlier policy, in earlier like 7.5.1, we used to do this with custom routing. Now we can do with like team filter service. That also we can implement. Yeah, we have that as well as a part of our training implementation of team filtering service. There you will come to know like how this is like getting assigned.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now, the next one is like the next topic we are going to discuss is very important. That is something related to scripts. Yeah. Coding in IBM BPM for simple, complex list type variables. Okay. How can you like write the coding? Write the coding in the sense, in manager, I have written some piece of code. Okay. When to write like such type of code, when to initialize something, like when it is a complex type, so how you have to write the code, when it is like complex type and is of some array, like how to write the code. Now we can see. Okay. Now, uh, okay, session 7 is completed. Okay, session 8 is also completed. So, but our sessions shows like small, but our classes, I think like 13 classes completed, no? Vivek or Rumsi? As per in terms of like classes wise, how many classes are completed?
I don't remember.
If anybody is counting, okay, you just whatever the thing I shared, just download it and put it in one folder. Why? Because whenever my drive is full, what I will do, like I am just keep on deleting my folder uploaded files, folder which I shared the files, and I'm like resending the new one. So like please put it in one folder so that it will be useful in your future reference. Okay. User interface. So like I'm taking on human service, so the same whatever the coding I can explain you in the BPD, but in UI I can show it like much more clear for you how whenever I have like assigned some value, how it is like displaying in the UI so that you can easily understand. Okay, so the name I am putting is like for I am working with some variables or something, working with variables. Okay, fine. See here, this is like coach. Coach is nothing but the UI. Coach is nothing but the UI, like where end user can interact. Okay, fine. So like if you go down, if you go down, you can say something called as heritage coach. What is the difference between this coach and heritage coach? This coach is the new coach which is built in IBM BPM this 8 versions, like most of the controls like which you are using like latest controls and something like entirely look and feel is got changed in these coaches. So this how this is been. If you want to see how the coaches earlier in 7.5.1, why? Because some people who are still working on the version 7.5.1, if they migrate to like 8.5, okay, their migration should not fail. Why? Because they earlier they used some coaches, the same coaches should also present here. So in order to for that purpose, IBM has still just renamed the coaches. Earlier the name here is coaches like this. They renamed that old coaches to heritage coaches. If you want like how this is looking like old coaches like or heritage coaches, you can see here. Just you will just confuse seeing these two. That's why I'm showing that how the heritage coach here. Then we can go to our coding part. So completely the look and feel might is very changes. Like see here, the old coach something looks like. If you are drag and dropping some text, if I run this and okay, it will show me the what are the details like I have filled there. Okay, name and designation. So the complete like it's taking some time. Okay, the complete look and feel is completely changed. So like how the UI looking in like 8 version. See here how the UI is looking here. Something like not that much of like look and feel. Okay, name designation. In that case what we are doing is like again we are using some two column. Why? Because this much length I don't want. See, if you in 8.5, in 8.5 this much length is not coming for name. If it is name, it is like something like smaller length only. Why this much of length for a name? So like again these people are doing something like 2 colon or something 2 colon. This what I'm doing is like I'm just selecting 2 colon. Again I'm putting like here I'm putting everything in one horizontal, one vertical session. Okay, so and I am running this. See here now how it is looking like, somewhat good. So like in 7.5 now, like there are like many issues with the coaches, like in order to make the coach like much more look and feel like we what we are we did at that time, like we here it we will be having something called as custom HTML. So we are dragging the custom HTML and we are writing like lots of lines of script in order to do the validations and all. It is very uh, like very tough, like in building the UI it will take much more time in order to build the UI and all. Okay, just like in order to show you like how the heritage coach looks like, just I have taken this as an example. Okay, I'm just deleting this. This is not our intention as of now. Just like don't confuse between like this coach and our coach. Like this is also names as coach, but it is not our coach. Like heritage is nothing but old coach or 7.5.1, like 7 version coaches. Okay, something coach I have taken. Okay, some display data. Okay, we have 15 minutes of time. So in this 15 minutes of time, we can, of course, we can choose something like we can complete at least like simple type. Okay. Now, what I'm doing is like in the coaches session, like I'm drag and dropping a text feed. I am drag and dropping a text feed in the coaches session. I'm renaming it as some message. I'm renaming it as some message. Okay. So if you run this, see how quickly the coach has been displayed, how here in IBM BPM World Coaches it has taken much more. Okay, I can give some value to my message. I click on okay. So is anything is carrying my information? No, no variables are there. Just whatever I have submitted, nothing, like I'm not capturing anywhere. In order to like capture, so definitely you have to take some variable and you have to bind with that. So I'm taking a private variable. I'm taking a private variable. Some message. Okay. I'm taking a private variable. So in the coach, what I'm doing, so I'm binding this with this private variable. So whatever the field I have entered, so that is assigned to some variable called as message. Now that is assigned to some variable called as message. Okay, fine. Now in the message, I have something called as has default. I have something called as has default. So what is this has default? If I click on this has default, here I got something in double quotes. Here I am writing some name called India. When I click on this run button, so I can see India. Why I can see India? Why? Because I have given to a variable called message that has been binded with this text field. That's why I can see the same India here. I can see the same India here. Okay, fine. So this is one way of declaring. See here, this message of type string. It is not like something like some employee details or something which is much more complex. String means like only one text. It don't have like multiple text values or something. So this type of variable, when it's something like variable is of type some string or some variable is of type some integer or some decimal, so whatever it might be. So for such type of variables, for such type of variables, you can declare it, you can take it as a simple types. So this type of variables are called as simple types like string, integer, decimal and all. Okay, this is like one way of declaring, one way of like instantiating a variable. Instantiating in the sense, what is the meaning of instantiating means? Like whenever you click on here has default, like what does it indicates, like for the variable you are allocating some memory. Okay, you are allocating some memory, and in that memory, like you are holding, like you are going to like store some, like you are allocating some memory. In that memory, like you are passing some value, you are storing some value in that allocated memory space. Okay, fine. Is this has default is a best practice or it should not be used? Has default is not a best practice. Has default is not a best practice in IBM BPM. Why? Because like something it is receiving message from the external system. You for the testing you have kept something as default. So what will happen like okay if the message is coming from the external system as something different, okay that will be displayed. So due to some issue if external system is not passing any data, so what value it will display? Actually, it should display some null. Why? Because the other system is not passing anything, but it will override like anyway like has default India is there, it will show India. That is one problem. And other one is like if somebody is reviewing your code or some of the new developer has joined in your team, like he just accidentally he just clicked on this uncheck. Okay, really as per the code you have to put some value. Okay, you have to put some value, but that guy like accidentally has removed this as default, so it went. So like has default is not a recommendable command. So instead of like has default, you can drag and drop some server script. In that server script you can set the data whatever you want. Okay, here I'm just setting the data now. Okay, tw stands for some teamworks. I have to access the local variable. So what I'm doing is like a tw dot local dot. So I can see my local variable here, message equal to. Here I am writing that message. Hmm, okay, something like US. Okay. So when I click on this run button, so what I can see, I can see the message. Okay, fine. This is like how to instantiate a variable. That means what you are doing whenever you write something like this, what it is doing, okay, this is some temporary memory space. Okay, it is carried out in a variable called as message. So you are assigning some memory and you are putting some value USA inside that. Fine. Okay. Okay. Fine. But when this message is of type some complex structure, so already you have created this complex variable, complex object or complex business object. Okay, whenever this type of complex business object is there, so how can you work with such variable? How can you work with such variable? Okay, so let us remove this. Okay, I'm just putting this aside. Okay, this time what I did is like as usual. Okay, let me change the codes now. So now it is not a simple text. In the variables, I can see the message. I can drag and drop. It has like name, designation, and department. Fine. Now I'm putting has default. And I put some has default. So it has allocated some memory. So in that I can see like okay name as some Raj and designation is some PMO. Some IT like he belongs to some HR department or something. Okay, related to some project related works. Okay, fine. Now when I click on this run button, I can see Raj, PMO, HR. Fine. It looks good. Now, as I said, this is not a recommendable command. This is not recommendable to give has default. Okay, so I unchecked this has default. So in the diagram, I'm just setting up the data. I'm just setting up the data. So tw dot local dot some message, tw dot local dot some message. Okay, if I put again dot, I will get some name. Got it? The same like while I am working with coach validation, I used something like this: employee details dot name, some Rajesh, tw dot local dot some message, or like is it clear message, or shall I change this variable to like employee? So treat that message is of type employee details, some designation. Designation is some software engineer. Okay. tw dot local dot message dot some department. Department is IT. Okay. So I have assigned some like variable. I have some assigned some variables. Okay. I have some assigned some value to a variable. Now I am just clicking on the run button. It will throw me an error. Yes. It has thrown me an error. So what is the error it is throwing? Cannot set property of name. So undefined to Rajesh. So you are giving some cannot set property of name. It is saying like it can't assign name to like Rajesh. Similarly, the remaining as well. Why it has throwing an error? So here we have like message, under message you have like name. So you are directly creating some memory to a name and you are assigning some value. Okay, fine. Then what about this message? Okay, what about this message? First of all, you have to allocate some memory space for a particular complex object. Then inside that memory space you can put like this name, designation and department. So how to create that? So how to instantiate a complex variable is like the syntax is like this: tw dot local dot assume that tw dot local dot variable name equal to some new tw dot object dot manually I am writing complex type. So this is the syntax. This is the syntax. Okay, remember the syntax. It will be like we will be having like one more will be there list. Like this will be useful while working with like coding in the server script coding. It is very easy. Like it is something like in Java, like using new operator, how you are creating an object. Similarly in BPM, no, we are using the same new operator here. Tw dot local dot variable name equal to new tw dot object dot complex type. So I'm just prefixing that tw dot local dot variable name. What is our variable name here? MSG or message. Tw dot local dot variable name. Okay. It is show like variable name message equal to okay new based on the above I'm writing new tw dot object dot complex type. Complex type in the sense what type of variable, what type of view it is? Employee details starting with capital E. So put here control space, search with capital E. Okay, caps lock E, shift E. Okay. Okay. Now I got this employee details. Okay. I'm just selecting this employee details. Now how to comment this? Which one which I have written here? I want if I want I can delete it or I can comment it. Control followed by like this slash button will comment this. Okay. Now this got commented as well. Now it is looking good. So I have like initialized this message. So that means like when I initialized this message, it will allocate some memory. So under this complete memory, complete for complete message, it will allocate some memory. So under message, you are having like various like variables, like name designation. So whatever the values I have provided, those will get stored here. So now if I run, it will work. It will show me the UI. Rajesh software engineer, some IT. This is like how to do the coding when it is of like complex type. In tomorrow session, we can see like how to do the coding part like when it is of type list type, complex of type list and simple of type list. Both I will explain. String of type list, employee details of type list. List in the sense not only Rajesh, like there are like 5 or 6 employees are there. So like how to work with that, like whether you are going to write hardcode it each and everything or you are going to do some for loop, that we can see it in tomorrow's session. Is it clear, Vivek or Vamsi, or you have any doubts in this? Hello.
Hello, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, okay. Okay, fine then. Vamsi, okay?
Can you send me the BPD if you can export the previous one?
You want that BPD?
Yeah, so is it possible I can import in my
It's not like
my
you can import the BPD. Like I can send you a snapshot, you can like import that snapshot.
hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I will send you a
Yeah,
snapshot for both of you, like you can import it. Okay.
yeah, okay.
Jagdish, one more thing, Jagdish.
Yes, Vamsi?
Do you have this thing in debug mode also, like one of our session?
Yeah, debug
Debug
mode you
mode.
can do. Like debug means like in stepwise it will go. Like in each and every step you can check like how the flow is moving on. See here. Initially if I go to like set data, here I can see like it went to like initial server script. So these are the details which are assigned. Okay, server script will automatically run. That's why like there is no step. Now the step came to coach. Before executing the coach, whatever the value it contains, I can see here. So next it will come to like coach. Once I click on OK, so it is going to like end event. So debugging is nothing but it's like a stepwise you can debug it if something is going wrong, somewhere it is failing when I directly running. You can simply debug and you can check where it which activity or like which coach it is getting failed.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, then I will meet in tomorrow's session. I will share you the recording as well and also like TWX file so that you can import it and you can work. Okay, you can try to see it. Uh, okay, fine. We'll meet in tomorrow's session then. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Vamsi. Thanks, Vivek.
Jagdish.
Yes.